Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Sugi Yamagawa, and today on VTubing my slow life hobbies in my 30s, we are back at the bandsaw with a new blade, and hopefully we don't break it. That's the game plan. That's the game plan. I don't know if I'm actually gonna be successful today in this. But yeah, Mr. Spock, I haven't even got a chance to like try out the dime welding. I need to look into that though. I genuinely need to look into that. Because it looks like an interesting thing. But as for me, I just went to the hardware. Yeah. Eye protection is very important. Because eyeball's very expensive. Eyeball's very expensive in the land of freedom. Especially. But yeah, I hope everyone out there is having a good day. And I gotta say, my day's been I have been solidly alright. But you know what? Ooh, goodness gracious. There's always something that makes the day even better. And that's good old Bluesky. I'm only joking about the dime building. It's a running gag. Oh, okay. See, that's the thing. Like, I actually haven't looked it up enough to actually like find out if it's a gag or not. Now, I know back in the World War II era, people in POWs would make radios. Like, really crude radios. I'm trying to think. I know dime's part of of it, but they'll take like basically a hobby pin, and they'll use that to make, I think, what is called a rectifier. Because to make a radio, you need to have an arterial, which is basically your antenna. You need to have a rectifier, which is the component that takes the electromagnetic signals from their arterial and then converts them into sound. But those types of radios are also very low powered radios. Very primitive. But they do work though. I mean, if you wanted to listen in on stuff that was happening around the world and you did not have any other means to doing so, you could do it. Granted, I would actually like to do something like that on stream at some point. I'm just not sure if I'm going to get around to it. Well, get around to it in the nowish time. For currently, at least for the better part of December, my main game plan as far as like streams and stuff goes is to do stuff I like. And for today, so Thursday was making one of my favorite food, making a very favorite food of mine, and that is the margarita pizza. Well, one, not only do I like pizza, but like the margarita pizza is like, but they do weld dimes in prison, I think match heads and soap, I can't remember, I'm stoned again. Oh, okay. I'm trying to think, like, soap's alkaline, whereas match heads have like phosphorus. Well, do they? Is it phosphorus and sulfur, or just sulfur? I think it's mostly sulfur. But I could see them using a chemical reaction between those two things. Typically, most alkaline materials like soap will react with an acid. And sulfur by itself is not an acid, but sulfuric acid is the most important acid in industrial applications in our modern era. Like, humanity was very hamstrung by our lack of like good acids for a fair amount of time until we figured out sulfuric acid and then phosphoric acid. Once we had those two figured out, that gave us some like good industrial grade acids to play with, and once we had industrial grade acids to play with, we could do some we could have some really fun times with those. One thing I want to do at a later point is I want to do a thing where I'm going to do some what's called dry wood distillation. And what that is you take wood, you put it in a metal container to limit its access to oxygen because you don't want it to burn. And then you cook it. So you're basically cooking wood in a non-oxygen environment. And you get a whole bunch of different chemicals that way. A lot of early chemical feedstocks were originally gained in this way. Really noteworthy examples would be pitch and turpentine, or early sources of dry wood distillation from pine. Gastric acid is important. I'm gonna use some shortly. Well, gastric acid is always important, because gastric acid is what we use to like take care of the food and stuff, you know? Like, and taking care of food and stuff is very important. Like, food is very good. Especially in my opinion. In my opinion, food is good. And food always deserves to be celebrated, regardless of the circumstances of the food. So, I think that's enough, like, talking about chemistry. So, we're going to turn to Bandsaw. So, the first thing I want to do is I want to make a cut to this point. Now, originally I would like to keep my blocks as big as I can, but I don't want that blade, I don't want to sink that blade all the way into here and have it try to like finish this cut. Honestly, I'm going to just cut straight down into my line a little bit. I will back off a little bit, give myself like a little bit of gap to get started on the next cut going across. But, goodness gracious. But for now, I want to just complete this to get all this waste material out. Good evening, Dad's Old Shop. And also hello to a person who probably knows more about bandsaws than I do. Because I was putting in this new blade earlier, and boy, oh boy, was this... It was not a terribly fun process. It was not, but what we're going to do here is I'm going to kind of just make a cut here, take this waste material out of my equation, and then I'm going to finish cutting out this, and then from there we'll probably just like go wherever. Probably we'll do a cut straight down here, kind of cut down in, and you know, kind of work on like hogging out some of this material. Probably just find a good spot. I hate switching blades. I have a rip blade and a crosscut blade. Okay, so I did buy a 1/4-inch blade that's good for doing curves, because we have a very aggressive curve to do here. Whereas a lot of stuff like this we can do with a straight cut. This, honestly, we can sand, not a big deal there. And then we also kind of have a curve here, but we can trick this area. Because what we can do is we can do a straight cut in, and then we can just kind of do a curve cut. But as for like this part of the world, this like the low 1/4 thin, that's a good curve. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was going for. Is I basically went to Lowe's and was like, okay, what's something I can use to cut curves? Because I have to do a curve here. I have to do a curve here, and all the packaging I saw was like, you have to go 1/4, and I'm like, okay. Now I also have more bandsaw blades. Oh, 1/2 inch, and crosscut is 3/8. Ah, okay. So I actually have a 3-pack of blades en route to my homestead, but those get here tomorrow. Your Lowe's has bandsaw blades. I had to order them. I knew bandsaw blades were one of those things that a Lowe's may or may not have, but they had them. They even had the planer blades for my DeWalt planer. Wait, what's my DeWalt planer? I'm pretty sure you're the DW. Wait, I thought you said you say on top. Yeah, because I have. Whoa! Don't do that, buddy. But I have the DW735, which is the DeWalt 13-inch planer that all the other YouTubers have. Really? Man, you're in a good spot. My hardware stores. I feel like my wood selection's weak, but I don't know. I mean, I'm really trying to think here now if there's like anything I went to my Lowe's and was like trying to find but could not. Like, I know something like this was like on that line of stuff they may or may not have. Now, granted, I think it might be a brand thing, because all the bandsaw blades that were offered were Bosch. So this is a Bosch branded bandsaw blade. I don't know if that has something to do with it. Granted, I'm trying to also think of stuff. Now you got me thinking of things that I could not get at Lowe's. Now, granted, I did buy my weed burner from the Home Depot, but that was because weed burners at Lowe's they weren't in stock. So I just went to the Home Depot and bought that there because they had it in stock. I'm trying to think. Honestly, man, now you got me thinking down a rabbit hole. I'm not sure what to think about. Oh gosh. Because the thing is I usually check the website before I go to the store, especially if I'm going for like really like not something that may or may not be in stock, sort of like bandsaw blades. So I usually check beforehand. Yeah. My local wood selection sucks. It's just like pine, poplar, red oak, cedar post, and thin maple. Okay, so yes, I am with you on wood selection. My wood selection is not one bit deep. not one bit different, other than my Lowe's actually has like one of those like warehouse bays. I actually have like a whole warehouse bay of cedar boards. But otherwise, yeah, it's all that stuff. Like no white oak. There's no white oak. It's all red oak. And poplar, which I actually did buy a poplar dowel today for after we do this project. The next project, which will probably start next week, I've got a dowel for that because I went to Lowe's because I bought this earlier in the week, and then I went to Lowe's again because I lost a PVC cutter, and I needed a PVC cutter for my job. So I needed to go to Lowe's. I needed to get a new PVC cutter sooner rather than later. So it's like, okay, I have to get this. So I also got some materials I needed for my next project. So I picked up those as well. So I grabbed those. And I should be pretty good on project stuff for a little while. Because the next project's actually going to be a lot of work. Because in addition to that set of bandsaw blades I purchased one other thing. That is for the tool that is here. I bought myself a dado stack because apparently for this stack, well, for this next project, I need a dado stack. And it's like, okay, I've been putting off purchasing this thing for a long time now. And honestly, I'm sure there's ways you could cut dados with hand tools, but based off my knowledge of hand tools, any way that I imagine you could do it is going to be a pain in the butt. Whereas you get a dado blade stack and you can just take it across your table saw. And I have a table saw that can accept a dado stack. Now granted, now I'm thinking I don't have a throat plate for that. Because this is my throat plate for my table saw, which is not one of those zero clearance ones, but it's literally just like the stock one you get. Oh, I do it all the time, but I get it. Oh man, you do it all the time? Do you just chisel out the dados? Because that's how I see like doing dados. I mean, theoretically, you could get a hand plane that is the width of the dado, and you could chop the dado with a chisel, and then hand plane it flat. Okay. Well, at least... Oh, router plane. Okay. Oh, yeah, router plane. Dazzle shop. Don't be mentioning tools I wish I had. Granted, I'm pretty sure a router plane's cheaper than a dado stack, but the dado stack will let me like rip dados and rabbits, and I can do all those things and very quickly because, well, unfortunately, I follow Steve Ramsey's Woodworking for Mere Mortals channel, and boy oh boy do I like his stuff, but also he really likes making like dados and rabbits to help align pieces at setup, which is, yeah. My router plane is a wood screw clamp and a sharp chisel. Oh gosh, I love that. I love that. That's so good. It works. It's simple and it works. Oh man. That's good stuff. Oh my goodness. Also, oh my goodness gracious, we are over 20 minutes in and we haven't made power tool noises, so we're gonna go ahead and make power tool. We're gonna start making power tool noises. I try not to break bandsaw blades. Now, the previous bandsaw blade I did have came with bandsaw and right potato stack saved time. So yeah, I mean, and honestly, part of the reason why I want to go to the dado stack route is simply because, well, goodness gracious, that's what everyone else has, so I might as well get it because congratulations, welcome to Woodworking YouTube. Ooh, that tool I wanted, or that thing I wanted. Granted, in my case, it's because I've looked at making dados and I'm like, I could repeatedly cut a board, and that's a way to do it. And then chisel out my waist, but that does not sound like fun. That just sounds like it's one of those things that it works, but it's a pain in the keister. It's a pain in the keister, man. Not. My tool budget is dead. I just bought an $80 volleyball. My tool budget is in okay shape for the remainder of this year. If there's something I need, I can grab it, but past that, I don't expect any big upgrades unless I get a particularly generous Christmas bonus, but we'll just see what happens there. I'm really not. I have no expectations there. I have none. Like, I genuinely feel like the Christmas bonus is like a dying thing, but my workplace, the only reason my workplace even does them is my workplace is like far too into Christmas, which is like, you people are a little bit crazy. You're a little bit on the crazy. For me. But we'll see how that goes. Going into next year, though. Next year. I'm excited to see so many new use dado stack. It's always experience. Yeah. I mean, granted, that's also part of the... I mean, really, that's one of the big reasons why I do things I do here is because a lot of woodworking YouTube is like people who've been doing it for like over 10 years, and it's like, man, where are the amateurs that are just screwing around in the garage? Like, I want to watch amateurs screw around in the garage. And now I'm here. But yeah, this is way too much yammering. I want to make power tool noises, and I want to huff sawdust, specifically rosewood. It's exotic. I don't get to do this drug very often. So first things first, we're just gonna cut off. We're gonna make a real quick cut, and also I just kind of want to see how the new blade interacts with the wood. Right? I just want shop dads and moms. Yes! There is such a demand for just people just like, okay, I have a shop, I have tools, and I have half an idea of what I'm doing. Let's go. Like, We need more of this in the world. But that's why people like me and you exist. Now, I probably should plug this up now. Because I do believe in power tool safety, you know? Like, if you're gonna, like, play around with stuff, that's all fine and good. But do so safely. Safety is very important. Okay. And power tool noises. Oh man, look at that. That is butter. That is buttery smooth. Okay, let's go. Look. Holy smokes, the quality of cut with the new blade is like unreal. Like, it's definitely a new blade. So, we've got the bottom done now. So, I'm gonna do a little bit of a cut in and then cut down. And what I want to do is I want to do this, because this is a pretty gently sloping curve. Just do a little bit of cuts to kind of like, you know, make it easy. So let's see here. Let's go for that. Nice and easy now. Go. Everybody cut there. And let's see. Let's try it. So we're gonna start our angle. Woo. Nice. Very nice. So, I really like how it's cutting. It's cutting really nicely. So, I think I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive here and see how it reacts to that. So, we'll do something like you. Woohoo! Nice. Nice, 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 nice. But yeah, no snap, bang, bang clangs. Cheers. So I'm feeling pretty optimistic. We're gonna be very aggressive now. And we'll see if this is my undoing. Oh yeah, we're not gonna let this blade get too hot. We're gonna try to be careful around here. Always better to go slow and steady versus too aggressive beast, if we say. So, I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and complete this cut to here. After that, we're gonna make a cut down to here, and then we'll bring this up to here, and we'll go from there. Let's see. There we go. Woohoo! Look at that. Look at that. That is looking pretty good. Okay. So let's do our from the top to the bottom here. There we go. Staying on our line. Not always good about it, but I try. not wanting to give, so we'll come in here. There we go. No alcohol. Mr. Spock. Mr. Spock. We're very, very elite around here. We do a good job of drink. Now, granted, bourbon bourbon Bandsaw sounds like a good. Oh my goodness gracious. I see proper. Well, so I will say this. Like, if I was even attempting to use my table saw, alcohol would be a no-no. Table saws have far too much power and are far, far too dangerous to play alcohol and power tools. As much as I like playing alcohol and power tools. And it's kind of, and this is kind of like a pretty big thing with me, is like levels of risk. Bandsaw. I have this nice table. I have the small blade. I have lots of control, lots of stability. Dust is minimal. Noise is minimal. And speaking of noise, a bit of a story here. My friendo was actually here in the shop here today, and he was working on a project of his. And I was getting Bandsaw Coon here set up for stream today. And then I got the blade in and was like, okay, I'm gonna test fire this, and my buddy goes, okay, and then puts his fingers into his ears. And I look at him and I'm going, buddy, take your fingers out of your ear and let me turn this on for you. And then I turned, like, I wasn't even trying. Well, actually, I think I was actually doing my first test cut with some cedar. But I was just like, here, let me turn this on for you. And then I made a cut, and then he's like, oh, wait, what? Only that much noise? And it's like, yes, only that much noise. Like, that's one of the nice things. Like, that's one of the fun things. Like, in some ways, bandsaws can be intimidating. Because you have this, like, really thin blade. It has all these, it has adjusters. There's a wheel up here. There's a wheel down here. But these are actually very safe tools to use. Like, they're very safe. They're very user-friendly. All that good stuff. Now, table saws. Actually, does this tell me the amps? Yeah. Okay, cool, sweet. It actually does tell me the amps on the data plate. So the motor for this saw takes 2.5 amps. Just 2.5 amps. My table saw, on the other hand, this bad boy pulls close to 15 at startup. And then probably settles. You know what? You won't see my face. Is there a data plate? Oh, there is a data plate. What does data plate say? Blade, 10 inches. Yeah, we know that. Yeah. Data plate says 15 amps. Table saw, 15 amps. Skill saw, 2.5. Table saw demands big amps. demands much respect. Bandsaw pulls fewer amps, demands fewer amounts of respect. My buddy worked in a custom cabinet shop. He had a coworker who came in. He came to work inebriated. It's ran his hand, losing two. Imagine losing 2 fingers and getting fired. Man, like, okay, like, I'm gonna be honest. Beer has been consumed, but here's the thing: like, I barely feel like I'm tipsy. Like, and also I am also doing the waters as well. Because, well, that's just how you consume alcohol responsibility, regardless of the power tools situation. Oh, he wasn't drunk? Oh. Granted, I'm sure that, okay, so that had to need more beer. Ah, Mr. Spock. My kind of man. I genuinely cannot see, like, losing 2... Okay, here's the thing. 2 fingers... So this is a 9-inch bandsaw. So for those who don't know their power tools, most bandsaws are rated by their throat, which is the distance between the blade and the stem here. This is 9 inches. It is a 9-inch bandsaw. This is the teeny eeny weeny micro bikini of well, not necessarily micro bikini, but this is the babyest of baby boy bandsaws. I would like to upgrade to a 14-inch bandsaw at one of these at some point later in my life. It's not going to happen anytime in the next, like, 2 to 3 years. Now, my life budget for discretionary purchases is dumb. It's dumb, but I'm still not gonna let myself buy, like, one of the big daddy boy bandsaws. Granted, I'm sure the bandsaw blade that guy cut his finger, lost 2 fingers to, was at least a ½ inch, if not more. But also, like, I have a respect for my fingers more than I should, simply because I've had to have the reattachment done. And in my case, it was not my fault. Because it's not... So, if you get hurt and you're less than a year old, it's not your fault. Oh, dearie. Oh, dearie. Why would you... Oh, dearie. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a drug, alright. That's something else. That is, like, something I do... No. Like, that's the thing. Like, yes, I like my brewskis. My brewskis are good. But those kind of drugs are like, no. Wait. Let's see. That was a pale ale, so for next beer, Oktoberfest, best style, and it's almost out of the season and makes me very sad. Makes me very sad to see Oktoberfest be out of the season, but the things we have to do to get to the best month of the year, you know? Because I will reiterate my point of December being best month of the year. Well, we've got more beer in ourselves, so. Next step. My game plan? Continue moving along through the piece. Now, I did go a little bit extra here. Just a hair bit. Oh, yeah. Cheers, Mr. Spock. So, just a really itty bitty bit extra here. Really no big deal in the big scheme of things. So, my next cut is going to be this one. This diagonal right here. Because once we make this, we're going to make this. I'm going to cut out this little bit right here. And then I get into the part where it's like, oh dearie, goodness gracious, this is going to be very troublesome. So, let the bandsaw noises continue. I'm actually curious about that. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, sorry about that, Mike. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. That's good sign. Good sign. Cheers to that. Oh boy, oh boy. So, next up, we're going to take out this little corner right here. looking really good, really good. There we go. There we go. Oh boy. Hopefully that's not a broken blade. We'll see. Ooh, hey flywheel. Woohoo! Broken blade. Now. Oh boy, oh boy. The hard part. Getting it back on. Probably should. We'll just loosen it a little bit. That's why you're the greatest. Wait, what? That's why you're the greatest boss? What? Is that because I let my guys drink? Oh no. Oh dear. Oh wait. Okay, let's see. Let's get that a little bit tighter and let's see. Let's get that. Oh no. Not one of those Metal Gear references. I don't get those. I've never played the Metal Gears. Woo! Let's drop that. Drop you, drop you, drop you, drop you, drop you, drop you. Oh, man. Have you ever said getting, like, bandsaw blades back on the bandsaw wheels is my least favorite thing about bandsaws? Because if I haven't, I probably should say that now. I watched a half dozen people play through it. One of these days I'm gonna play. I'm gonna diversify myself away from. Oh wait, that's why that's not. Okay, I thought that was down. I thought that was locked on down there. Ooh boy, Jiminy Cricket. Okay, so that's there. That's there. So we need to get this up to. Oh, and you came off. And that's the thing that I dislike with bandsaw blades. I really wish this was a more straightforward process. Because I wish I didn't have to have both hands on one of my two wheels to reset the blade. Okay. I have ways to do this. And exercise those ways I shall. Pretty sure it's here. Okay. So, I've got an Allen key here. This is literally how I had to get this bandsaw blade on earlier. Was loosen these. Tight. Give Alan back his keys. No, I'm not giving Alan back his keys. Also, Dad's old shop. Thank you. Like, that is actually a pretty peak dad joke right there. And if no one appreciates that dad joke, then, well, they need to find a different streamer to watch. And Alan Key, no Bob Keys. Ah! So close, so close, so close. I was wanting to not have this situation occur, but this situation has occurred. Now, I wish this was like... I wish it was like bicycle chains. This is firmly in the realm of I wish this was like bicycle chains. Hey, you, don't be jumping off that bottom wheel. Why did you? Oh, because you flopped off there. Okay, fine. We'll just get rid of this for now. We'll make that a non-factor. Oh, I did not want to lose that. But yeah. Like, and this is also kind of one of the aspects of, like, being the type of individual who's just, like, screwing around in a shop that I wish to convey to people. Like, it is more than okay. It is more than okay to be frustrated by something. Ooh, wait, is my tension too tight? My tension might be a little... Ooh, understanding a game. Back that off. Okay. It's backed off. Moving hands in parallel. Ah, I'm so close. I'm so close. I'm so close. I lost both top wheel and bottom wheel simultaneously. Wait, try waiting for the pond fair. Pond fair? Oh no. Oh, come on. Why did I lose the bottom wheel? Why did I have to lose the bottom wheel? Well, we were really making really good progress on that, and I was like, man, there's no way this is going to be a 2-hour stream with the speed of progress, and now technology has conspired to be like, yeah, about your progress that you were having is just done. Oh, come on. You're so close. You've jinxed it. Probably. It sounds rough. Woo-hoo! The wheels spin, the blade stays. I don't have an idea how I did that. Oh boy, oh boy. Getting the band back together. Oh, dang it, haggle for it. What an absolute incredible pun. Oh, man. Whoa, boy. Okay, let's give this some more spinnies. Because I really want to give this some more spinnies. And also, let's see. I think we've got a good... Did you break it? No, I did not break the blade. It's just getting a bandsaw blade back seated onto its sling is a lot of work. But that was also... I also lost it at my most difficult... I truly have an incredible people. Okay. We have a really incredible group of people here. Absolutely incredible. People who encourage alcohol consumption with tools. People who have got... I can't make these... I don't have this level of dad jokes. Because technically I'm a garage class uncle. Versus a proper shop dad, but... Granted, it seems like Sir Haggleforth is definitely a proper dad. Okay. So we're going to put the cover back on. And we're going to hit the go switch. And we hope nothing bad happens when we hit the go switch. Nothing bad happened when I hit the go switch. Ugh. Okay. So. Bandsaw's back on track. And that actually wasn't too bad. So, what I'm going to try to do now is I want to make some relief cuts going down into my remainder piece, and then that way I can cut off small bits and pieces. Because could I try to cut this whole shape out all at once? Me cutting side, where's the side of beef? Wait, me cutting? I've already had taco soup though, like, which by the way, that's what I had for food prior to stream, was taco soup, and like, it was good, but I actually have, granted, they actually do use bandsaws for cutting beef. This is not enough bandsaw for cutting beef though. You need a lot more bandsaw than what we have going here for ourselves right now. If we want to cut beef. So, I think what I'm going to try and do is make a cut down to here. Make a cut to here. Take this part out. And then all we have will be that last little bit of curve. Whew. Well, no time like the present. Pretty good. What is that, like walnut? No, this is actually rosewood. This is actually like Brazilian rosewood. Which is what the... So this is basically what we're trying to make. But roses don't make wood. Well, tell that to Brazil. Because Brazil disagrees. Granted, I wish this was walnut, because this would probably cut a lot smoother than walnut. Like, I'm currently working with a new blade, so it's not it hasn't been a super big issue, but I definitely think this stuff is fairly hard. Okay. So I'm going to start from this side of the round. Woohoo! Ho-ho! Goodness gracious, look at that! Holy smokes! Holy smokes, look at that curve, man! Look at that curve! Like, what a curve that is! That dropped. It's gone now. My goodness gracious, look at this. Now, I have not fully achieved my full objective. Now, one of my full objectives was to... Actually... Oh, okay, so that's just... I have a little burn spot there, but that's no big deal. But, like... We've got a really good blank. A really good blank for a hand plane handle. Because we... Oh, come on. Let's get a side-by-side here, guys. Let's get a side-by-side. It's close. It's really... Wait. Oh, yeah. It's fine. It's fine. It works. It works. Now, this has a lot of smoothness to it. This does not have a lot of smoothness to it. It is basically a blank. Now, granted, I am so incredibly happy with how that curve has turned out. That's a good curve. That is a really good curve, especially considering that we're working with Brazilian rosewood right here, which is a very hard, very durable wood. Like, this is some... It's some fairly tough stuff, but I was kind of hoping when I did this cut here that I would like expose where my hole was, because I'm very much needing to figure out where that is. Actually, I don't know. I can't. Now, using something like this is definitely a bad idea. As far as like using brute force, but what you can do is use it as a guide. Because, hey now, actually wait a second, I should grab a marker. I need to grab a marker. One moment. Where's the white? Yeah, there's silver. I don't need white, I need silver. So, what this does is it's creating a reference. Oh! This is a blank for a hand plane handle. Now my blank is supposed to be oriented like... That's what I'm making. That's what I'm making right now. Now... It's definitely... This is definitely a high-level challenge for me. Is making this. This is definitely fairly high level. I don't think I fully nailed the curve. Doesn't look like, because this has a bit more to it on its taper. I feel like I may have took a little bit extra off here, but as you can see with the old hand plane handle, it looks like some manner of material was taken off. Did you do the turkey hand method? No. No. I actually used this piece I had here and used it as a blank to get the outline for this guy. Which is how I got this close. Like honestly, like I'm very happy with where I'm at now. As far as my project goes, like this is, as far as like small, having fun with, what's the, oh, I don't know what's the difference between turkey ham method and what you suggested, but do I have, oh, the Boston storage. Maybe? Yes. It's back to back. It's back to back. Okay. So, we're not going down that rabbit hole just yet. So, this started out as a this. So, these two were... So basically I started out with a block that was like this, but twice as wide. That I then... Because I basically, what I did is I cut it out in half. Ooh! 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 Actually, you can see the wood. You can actually see how the wood grain lines up. Yeah! Yeah, you can see how the wood grain lines up and everything. But yeah. So, what I did is I took a block of wood and I split it in half because, well, I could... This seemed like the most reasonable amount of wood I could reasonably get, which... considering the fact that Brazilian rosewood is a fairly exotic material. So to actually buy a block to get 2 of these bad boys, the actual amount of money spent on wood was $5, but I also had to spend like $7.50 on shipping. So the shipping was more than the actual wood, but this got me a block of wood that I could cut a blank out. Well, got me a block of wood that I could cut in half, and then out of that half, I can cut a blank for a handle. And that's kind of like the story of where we got to here. I'm brewing a Sato rice wine. Ooh, nice. I'm actually really wanting to do a brewing stream next week. Because generally my policy on brewing streams is I try to do them I try to do one once a quarter, or no more than 5 per year. No more than 5 per year, because when you're brewing alcohol on stream, it's like, yeah, we're mashing. 15 minutes later, yeah, we're finishing up the mash. I'm gonna go start my strike water. What you brew? I don't know. I don't know just yet. I typically, for the winter months, I will brew an amber ale. Is one of my traditional, like, this time of year brews. So, how's the cider? I have not tried this. Where's the cider? Oh, cider. Okay, so I started brewing the cider 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks to 4 weeks to a month ago. So it's been a while. I don't think it's been long enough to try the cider out. I'm getting close, though. Let's see here. Don't like amber ale, but maybe it's different, fresh. It should be excellent. Huh. So for beer, I typically like to wait. Goodness gracious, like 2 weeks of bottle conditioning? Honestly, 3 weeks to a month of bottle conditioning for a beer makes it taste really good. Granted, I can see a cider for cider 50 days is plenty. Is that bottle conditioning or just like brewing? Let's see. Okay, so I did my cider on the 8th of November. Both combined. Okay. So, it's the 6th of December. I started it on the 8th of November, so we're basically... Wait. November was a 30-day month, because December is a 33-day month. So we got 30 days. Ooh, wait a second. How long does cider keep? Because I actually did, so... Right now, this is the beer I'm drinking. Is the Paul Reiner Oktoberfest. But I did start with my pale ale that I made with my homegrown hops. Now, that beer, I started 2 months ago. Probably like a year. Okay. I will easily drink all that cider in that time. Because if cider went bad in like, goodness gracious, like 2 to 3 months, I'd be deeply concerned. I would be deeply concerned if cider went that bad that quickly. It's just in my experience, beer typically tastes best after at least, keep 1 bottle just in case. Yeah. Goodness gracious. Like, I have 5 gallons of cider. I have 5 gallons. I'm a household of 1. And very few of my friends actually like drink. So, I am now sitting on this cider and just being like, well, I certainly have cider, alright. Trust me, brother, that won't last. The thing is I figure that. Because it's cider. Like, the ABV is going to be low. And because the ABV is low, it's not going to keep as well as some other stuff. Granted, based off what I was tasting of the dredges of the cider, I was like, oh boy, this has got some, it's a cider that's got some alcohol in it. I feel very confident in the amount of alcohol I got in it. It might be a little bit more like heavy-ish on ABV than what most people are used to out of a cider, but I don't know. But we will definitely be trying that next week. Next, did you forget to get a bricks? Oh, I believe in this. So I take it by a bricks reading. Now I mostly know this as a hydrometer reading. Now I think I did take a hydrometer. So here's the thing. I took a hydrometer reading at the start of fermentation just to test how much sugar I had because I didn't have like a whole lot of like actual like sugar to work with. Well, a whole lot of like proper apple juice. And I think based off my, because I think I remember based off my readings I was at like 1.06 or something. I don't know if it was that high. No, that seems way too high. That's like, that feels like way too high. Wait a second. Wait, 1.6 would be, 1.6 would be really high for a cider. All I remember is I took the reading and was like, okay, I have enough sugar to get an okay-ish amount of alcohol as long as it ferments out properly. And that was the extent of my checking my sugar levels. Admittedly, this is the type of tool I don't use a whole lot. Because you also have to correct for the temperature of the thing when you do your specific gravity testing. So it's one of those things. It's a tool I believe enough in to own, but I don't really use it a whole lot. I mean, the thing is with like beer, it generally works out. Like, beer is one of those things I have enough experience with where I know if I do my process, especially as long as I'm really good with my cleaning and sanitizing, I'm gonna get a good product. I'm just gonna get a good product at the end of the day. So using the hydrometer is a very underutilized tool in my brewing process because I don't need it. I mean, human beings have been brewing good beer, at least good scale beer, without hydrometers for a long time. Now, granted, in more recent times, holy smokes, people were brewing great beer, like especially like back in the 1800s and such. Like the people who had a really good reservoir of experience and had access to increasingly good quality ingredients, which, like, oh my goodness gracious, like being a beer brewer in this day and age is like life is good, man. Life is so incredibly good. And that is something I would be more than happy to hammer into so many people's heads and be like, hey, if you have any level of interest in brewing beer, but for some reason or other, you're scared of the results you're going to get, don't worry about it. The quality of ingredients that exist that are fairly readily accessible to homebrewers, it has almost never been better than where we're at right now. It is incredible. Now, I have a homebrew shop that I can bike to, and if I bicycle to my homebrew shop, it's like a 45-minute bicycle ride. My homebrew shop is amazing. I love my homebrew shop so much. Like, it is the year 2025. I started homebrewing in I'll drive. And that's reasonably fair. I mean, honestly, I drive more often than not, but I can bicycle there. But when I started homebrewing in 2017, the price for grain, the price for malt for brewing was $2 a pound. If I go to my homebrew shop tomorrow morning, guess what? It's gonna be $2 a pound. I got a homebrew kit yesterday, now I have to figure out how to keep it warm. Oh, okay. That depends if you're going for an ale. If you're going for an ale, you're gonna want it warm-ish. Like, goodness gracious, like, I think most ale yeasts like 63 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if you're going for a lager, on the other hand, you can let that get a lot colder. Because right now, my basement's sitting at around 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, if I want to brew a lager, ooh, okay, yeah, don't worry about keeping that warm, man. Lagers can be happy down in the 40s. This koji yeast lactoculture can ferment any. Ooh, I'm gonna try banana sake. Ooh, banana sake. I like that idea. Like, I actually really like that idea. Like, I'm actually like. Gosh, how do I put this into words? Like, traditionally, banana is not a flavor you want in a beverage, unless it's a maybe I use plantains. Yeah, maybe I use plantains. Wait, Oh no, wait. Would that be possible? Would that be possible? Would it be possible to brew a sake with like a Hefeweizen, with like a wheat ale yeast? Maybe incorporate like a little bit of the wheat into the malt, and then you can get that banana flavor. Because if you use a Hefeweizen style yeast with wheat malt, you'll get that banana flavor. Ooh, That's definitely a try, though. I mean, yeah, it would turn out like a sour. Ah, okay. Actually, now sours are actually not something I've actually tried to brew. I've never done any sours because, well, from my understanding of introducing lactoculture into a brewing vessel is, as soon as you introduce lactocultures into a brewing vessel, congratulations, that is now a sour vessel. You can't use it for anything else. Nothing else. It is now just for making sours. You just cannot use it for anything else. From what I've heard. Now, that hasn't been here's the thing, like, I can appreciate a good sour. Like, sours are definitely nice. And there are people who don't like some of the more harsher flavors, and they want something that's a little bit more fruity, and tastes like a Sour Patch Kids. And the sour's got you. The sour's got you on that. Oh no! We're out of beer. This is a terrible problem to have. Don't worry. My cooler can fix that. Woo! So, fun fact. All the Oktoberfest beers, the Calamity. Fill it up. Fun fact, all my homebrew, I always use orange caps for Oktoberfest. So, we're gonna fill this bad boy up. Granted, I got really aggressive on that pour. Oh no! Okay, you know what? That's not worse in the world. I know I got a little aggressive with that pour. There's worse. There have been worse pours. Admittedly, I've done worse pours. But yeah, the sours are definitely like could do a pump. Oh. I like that idea. I like that idea. I really like the idea of a pumpkin sake. Oh my goodness. Now, I have no current plans to, don't spill it, alcohol abuse. Mr. Spock. Alcohol is deeply respected around here. If it wasn't for alcohol, I would not have the energy to do the activities that I do. It will always be treated with the utmost respect, which is also why I have so much left in my bottle. It's actually starting to kind of normal out in terms of like the level of alcohol to head, because so one of the malts I actually use in my Oktoberfest is biscuit malt, and that actually helps add not only bread flavor, but it also adds a great dose of protein. Protein in beer makes the head. So if you have like a low protein beer, you don't get a lot of head, which is why loggers can sometimes not have a lot of head. That's actually one of the reasons why my Oktoberfest has a lot of head, even though Oktoberfest is made with a lager-style yeast. But yeah, talking about things I want to get to eventually is I have no idea how to, at this point in time, I have no idea how to make the thing I want to make. But I am planning to make into it. Some yeasts produce proteins. Ooh! I'm sure that would be like some of the... Well, no. Hefeweizen yeast wouldn't, because... wheat malt just has... Wheat malt is just chock full of proteins. Guess what? Those with a gluten allergy, I'm pretty sure gluten's a protein. Gluten's a protein. So, yeah, if you're having a wheat beer, that wheat beer is going to have a lot of proteins in it. But yeah, one thing I really want to do this year, specifically this year, just because I feel a little bit more settled into doing what I am currently doing, is I would like to make some amazake. For those who don't know, amazake is... It's basically a low alcohol sake that's made for New Year's. Now, if I remember right, it also has a really short... Now, there's two things about it. That I vaguely remember about looking up how to make it. One is you can make it very quickly. And second of all, as quickly as you can make it, it goes bad. So... we are going to see if it works. Dude, you see the raccoon that broke into a liquor store? They broke a bunch of hard liquor on the floor in the aisles. They found the raccoon face down in the bathroom, all four legs spread out. Hilarious. Oh man, that sounds hilarious. Especially considering a raccoon is dexterous enough to manipulate vessels that contain alcohol into its own mouth. Like, raccoons are very dexterous. And speaking of the dexterousness of raccoons, so my family at one point bought one of those pop-up campers. And the motivation for Mama and Dada Sugi to buy a pop-up camper was the year before they were sleeping in a tent. I think it was on Culver. Okay. They were sleeping in a tent, and a raccoon came up to the tent and opened the zipper and got into the tent. And my mom and once my mom realized there was a raccoon in the tent, she just like flipped out. But eventually, like, the raccoon was like, oh no, there's humans here and they don't like the fact that I'm here, and skedaddled on his way. But yeah, that's why my parents actually bought a pop-up camper that once they both kicked the bucket, like, I just sold to some guy so that way he could use it as like a deer camper, because, well, my parents never had a clean title to the pop-up camper, which was really exciting. granted, not as exciting as that one time I drove through another state. Well, so my parents went to the family camping trip ahead of me. My mom left me her car. So I used my mom's car to go to the camping trip. And when I got to the camping site, my parents asked me, it was like, hey, did you have any troubles, Sugi? And I'm like, no, I didn't have any trouble. Why do you think I would have had any trouble? And then my mom casually remarks, hey, the tags were expired on my car. And I'm like, Mom! Why did you let... Oh, shit. Well, actually, speaking of expired tags, I have to order tags for my car, but it's still in the early part of my month. I still have lots of time. My tags have yet to expire. They'll expire next month, though. I'm also fermenting some habaneros. Ooh! Neat-a-rooney. Neat-a-rooney. Habaneros are a lot like using spices in a Christmas ale. A little goes a long way, and if you use too much, you're gonna regret your decision. Like, I personally feel like using peppers in beer is perfectly valid thing to do. Perfectly valid. But, and I'm not gonna knock anyone for it because, well, honestly, I like a little bit of pepperiness in a beer can actually be good, I think. But it's also one of those ingredients you have to be very careful with how you use. Because a little goes a long way. Try fermenting Trinidad ghost peppers. Honestly, I think Sir Haggle's got the right idea. Like, habaneros are like the way to go. Like, habaneros have like they have like a good amount of heat to them, but the flavor's good. Like, they have a really nice balance, I think, to them. They're one of my more favorite, like, hotter peppers. Well, when they ferment, the heat mellows and becomes full-bodied. It's tremendous but tasty. Yeah. I feel like that especially go if you were to pair it with like a fairly good like malt backbone. Granted, I prefer Thai peppers. Ooh. Those peppers are bred to repel elephants. Definitely the uptone of a little goes a long way. Oh my goodness gracious, like using a pepper to repel elephants, like... I see that. I definitely see that. But wowee. But yeah, I definitely feel you on raccoons, Mr. Spock. Granted, the case of why I dislike raccoons is because I have a raccoon that, well, likes to defecate on my deck, is the polite way to put it. And I really do not like the raccoon that likes to defecate on my deck, because someone has to clean up after the raccoon that poops on his deck. And I'm sure you guys can all guess who that guy is. And it's not the worst thing in the world because I don't use my deck a lot. My deck is... it's on the north side of the house, and so it doesn't get a lot of sun, and it's very secluded. So it's not something that's super, say, user-friendly. My mom used it a lot. My sister used it a fair bit. But the deck has been, like, very underutilized. Especially since... whenever the homestead just became me and Dad, it was very underutilized. And then now it's just me, and it's even more... Try raccoon repellent? I'm not... The problem is I don't care that much. Is my issue. Oh, tools fell down. Whatever. I'm not really that worried about the raccoon. Like, it's like an whatever sort of deal. Like it's annoying, but it's not end of the world either. You know, like the raccoon's just doing what the raccoon does. And it's just trying to live his best life. Sort of like how I'm just trying to live my best life by playing with power tools while consuming alcohol. It's just we have different ways of living our best lives. I like mine more. Oh, goodness gracious. But yeah. Raccoon... Granted, also speaking of raccoons, there was actually one time, somewhat fairly recently, when during one of my family camping trips, the trash was not taken out to the trash can. I'm heading out. It's a good weekend. You have a good weekend too, Dad's Old Shop. I mean, I don't think I will be alive for much longer anyway, so. I've been consuming way too much of this, and I am gonna have to pee at some point. But yeah, you have a good one. And also look forward to next week, because next week is gonna be fairly active around here, is my game plan, because Unfortunately, is my friendo, who I normally head out of town to visit, the next upcoming weekend is the only weekend this month I have free to do stuff like that, and he's booked solid this month. And so, it was like, okay, friendo's booked solid. That means my schedule opens up a little bit. So, I am going to be probably streaming quite a bit next month. This week has been a little bit on the weak side for me, but that's also because I've been on call, and goodness gracious, I had to repair a furnace I really wish I did not have to repair, because it was a pain in the butt to work on, because some manufacturers just make their stuff hard to work on. That's just how the world goes. But yeah, next week I will not be on call, so I'll have some free time. However, though, due to some scheduling stuff, me and a coworker have swapped weekends, well, swapped weeks, and so next weekend I'm off from the on-call rotation, and then the next weekend I will be back on call again, because me and a coworker swapped weeks, because he wanted the week of Christmas, and I shrugged my shoulders and said sure, which works out for me because the Saturday after Christmas I'm visiting family and doing family stuff then. So next weekend is gonna be next week is gonna be the best week to do a couple of streams, and holy smokes, the way things are looking, I'm probably gonna be doing 4 streams. It is my current plan today. Festivus? Festivus? What's a Festivus? Is this something to get excited about? I certainly hope Festivus is something to get excited about, because I certainly do like having things to get excited about. But yeah, I have a fair amount of plans in the plan backlog. I was actually kind of hoping today to actually get to the point of actually starting to like sand out the corners and like get this like a little bit closer. But you know what? That's what I was generally wishing to achieve, and also basically where I'm at right now is my bladder is about to explode. So I would certainly like to continue the stream for a little bit while longer, but I don't see any point in doing a BRB and then coming back. Festivus for the rest of us. Festivus for the rest of us. December 23rd. When does 23rd fall? 23rd falls on a Tuesday. So I'm off call then. I'm not on call the week of this. I don't know if I'll do anything then. I will be doing a stream on Christmas though. I know that. Because I'm generally free on Christmas, but oh boy. So, to be very forthcoming with all of you is, beverages have been consumed and beverages need to be expelled. So, I have to expel beverages. It has been a good day. We have gotten a very nice blank for a hand plane handle made, and then next week, next week's woodworking stream will be on Sunday, and then on that, we're gonna actually be starting off a whole new project, because this is probably gonna get shelved for a while. But I must say, I have to use the little homesteader's room, and with all that, my name's Yamagawa. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I would like to wish all of you, you should do a traditional Festivus meal. Mr. Spock, I will consider that. I will certainly consider that. I'll need to look into it. One of my game plans for next week, actually, is on Thursday. I'm planning to do a chocolatiering stream around the campfire, and I'll be making all the maybe not all, but it'll be focused on making my favorite seasonal treats of this time of year. So yeah, something to look forward to next week. I hope all of you have a great rest of your day, evening, night, whatever it is, wherever you're at. And yeah, this guy's really got to use the bathroom. Take care, everyone.